All right, so today we're on the ice. This is my first time wearing the all new Warrior skate. It's my first time wearing it, and this is Warrior's first time making a skate. So this is just gonna be some first impressions, you know, off the cuff. How does it feel on my foot? How's the fit? Is there anything weird that I don't like? Is there anything awesome that I think Warrior did a really good job with? We're gonna talk about it, we'll find out. We're gonna start with the looks. Now, there's a lot I like about the skate, and the looks is definitely part of that. They went with this kind of stealthy, all black look, which always looks clean on a skate. Nothing too flashy. Aside from the hits of gold, they're kind of flashy. We got the metallic Gold Warrior logo here. Same thing there and on the tongue, but overall pretty subdued. I think for their first go at a skate, they kind of knocked it out of the park. It's looking sharp. Something interesting about the looks of this skate, you're not gonna see a lot of stitching. No stitching here, no stitching around the eyelets, which is really interesting. Most skates do have stitching there. No stitching for the tendon guard. Everything is either like fused or riveted together, as you can see here. So kind of gives the vibe that this skate is industrial, maybe indestructible type vibes, although obviously it's not. Pretty cool look though. Even the tendon guard, this whole like one piece attaching to the eyelets is a very unique look. Gives it kind of that tough, rugged look. I think they look sharp. Yeah, in the looks department, I'm a big fan. Something unique about the looks, you'll see the tongue shape. Bit of a banana style there. We'll talk about that later, but that's something unique about the look of the skate. And before I forget, one other unique feature about this skate, I've never seen this before, white trigger to release the blade. Kind of a cool idea. It blends in with the holder. You don't even know it's there until you look closely, so that's an interesting feature. And then of course, we got the black metallic steel. This is Warrior's own steel, which is a cool touch as well. Overall though, look sharp, I'm a fan. Now, something I don't think I've really talked about on this channel before is the shape of my foot, which some of you might be curious about in comparison to yours when looking at skates. I have a pretty standard shaped foot. There's nothing that abnormal about it. I'm lucky. That means I get to fit into a lot of skates to demo them. Like I said, size 8 fit to, size 8 regular. I do have a pretty high arch, and that wasn't an issue with these skates, and these are just the stock Warrior insole, so that's a good sign as well. No major pinch points either. And talking about the fit, the heel is an important part of the skate. You don't want any heel slippage, and that is not something I had with this skate. No heel slippage at all, so great sign. And again, these aren't heat molded, so once you heat mold them, they're gonna wrap a bit better and lock your heel down even more. But an unheat molded pair held my heel in nicely, no issues there. If you take a look at the liner, it says Intuition right there. Now, Intuition is actually a brand that makes liners for ski boots, snowboarding boots, and even wakeboarding boots, I believe. So they know what they're doing when it comes to heat molding. Ski boots have been heat molded for a long time. It's pretty cool that they put this inside the hockey skate. And as you can see, it comes up pretty high, so it's gonna give you that protective edge over the hard outer shell of the skate. Now, something Warrior has said about the Intuition liners that they won't pack out as easy. As you can see, they're actually not very thick at all. They're pretty thin, so there's not even a lot of foam to pack out. But Warrior has said that these Intuition liners are really great at heat molding, so hopefully down the road I get to try that out and see how it feels. Now, let's get into stuff I noticed while I was skating and my first time on the ice with these things. We gotta look at this tongue. It's got this very unique shape, not just from the side, but also from the front. As you can see, it's pretty rounded. It comes up to a pretty narrow point up top, and that is something I noticed while I was skating. Now, the overall feel of the tongue was really good. Check out this recoil. This thing bounces back like crazy, and you can notice that on the ice. You lean forward, it gives you that push back. It feels like you get a lot of power in your stride. But one thing about the shape that I wasn't a huge fan of, and maybe they can improve on the next one, is how narrow it comes up at the top. While I was leaning forward, this kind of touches your shin pad, and since it's so rounded and not wide or flat, it kind of gives you a bit of a wobbly feeling. Now, this could be a personal preference thing, but it's definitely something I noticed and something to get used to. Now, if I move the laces here, you're gonna notice a piece of Velcro right there on the tongue. That's because this tongue is removable and obviously adjustable. In my opinion, this is a pretty unique choice by Warrior because it only comes with this one tongue. I don't really see a point in having it be removable. You're not gonna be changing the tongue, but I do think the adjustability is a nice feature. You can make the tongue taller, you can make the tongue shorter just by adjusting that Velcro, so that's pretty cool. One other thing I did notice about this tongue, like I was saying, it's pretty narrow overall, and I did a couple quick turns on the ice where snow was flying up, and snow actually went in between the tongue and the boot, right through onto my sock. Gave me a bit of a shock, but it definitely woke me up. That was kind of interesting. I've never had that with a skate before, but that's definitely a testament to how minimal this tongue is. There's a bit of space there for air and snow to get in. So if you get hot feet, maybe that's a bonus feature for you. I don't know. Now, speaking more about this tongue, actually something I forgot to mention earlier. We know that Warrior collabed with Intuition on the liners. but this tongue actually has some unique tech. Now, Warrior is owned by New Balance, and Warrior has been hinting that this tongue has been designed with the help of marathon running tech, and I believe that's the foam here. This is New Balance foam, stuff you're gonna see in running shoes, and it's very unique. It's not a material I've ever seen on a skate before. It's this kind of soft, dense foam. One, it looks cool because it gives it that felt tongue look, but it also has a lot of recoil, like I said earlier, so that's pretty cool. Warrior collabing with other brands to make the best skate possible, Intuition and New Balance. Next up, we gotta talk about the Tendon Guard. As you can see, this thing's pretty beefy. It goes down and wraps all the way around to the eyelets. It's pretty thick back here at the base, and just a quick flex test, not a lot of bend in this thing, which some people may like, some people may not like. From my personal experience in my first ice session, while you're skating and you're leaning forward, totally fine, no problem, which is where you're gonna be most of the time on the ice. But I will say, when you stand up straight in this skate, which you shouldn't be doing while you're skating, but maybe you're in a corner during a drill or it's a whistle and you're standing up straight, I did notice the Tendon Guard pushing into my calf quite a bit. I wouldn't say it was a huge discomfort, but it's definitely something I noticed and something I'd have to get used to with this skate. I'm coming out of a Flylight skate, which has a lot more flexible of a Tendon Guard, so I'm used to that feeling. Now, some people might love the really rigid Tendon Guard because while you're skating and you're extending into your stride, it's gonna give you a little bit of that flick, a bit of that pushback from that flex. But if you're like me, definitely something to get used to with this skate while you're standing up straight. Now, this being a brand new skate from Warrior means it's got a brand new holder and brand new steel, fresh to the market. Off looks, the holder looks really great, and from feel, I didn't notice anything weird, which is a great sign. I mean, holders are kind of hard to tell if you're feeling anything through them anyways. You have to be pretty dialed in to feel the holder under your skate, but overall they felt good, and the steel felt really nice as well. It held a great edge. I've had no issues whatsoever on the first sharpen, so overall, steel and holder looking good, and little trigger action, pretty easy to do. Just click and slide out just like that. Now, one of my biggest takeaways from wearing this skate for the first time, this boot is extremely stiff, as you guys can see, super stiff. Probably one of the stiffest skates we're gonna have on our wall at the store. But that being said, some really great forward flexion in this skate. For how stiff of a boot it is, I was impressed. That comes from this tongue. Maybe it's the unique shape, maybe it's those cool new foams they're using, but really great forward flexion from a really rigid skate. So that means you're still gonna be nice and locked in. You're not gonna be wobbling all over the place, and you're still gonna get that forward lean that you need to get low on the ice, be aggressive, be agile. So that was a big highlight from this skate in my opinion. So obviously I had a couple nitpicks, but those are things that Warrior can improve in the future. For their first skate ever, I think they kind of killed it. And another cool factor is with more manufacturers entering the space creating skates, it's gonna create more competition amongst other manufacturers, which is great for us consumers. That just means everyone's gonna have to step up even more. So it's good to see Warrior joining the skate space. Overall, to wrap up the Alpha Pro skate, in the looks department, absolutely killed it. That might be my favorite part of the skate. The overall fit is great for my standard size foot. Nitpicks, nothing major, just a couple things that I might need to get used to and Warrior might be able to improve on. But all in all, I think it's a pretty great skate, and I think you guys should stop by and try one on. It's definitely worth at least putting on in the store and seeing if it could be the right skate for you, because as a new skate on the market, I think it's a good one.